culture. All right, as promised, there is also happening this weekend a very, very big event because the Camacho-Ada gubernatorial team is opening their campaign headquarters. It's going to be in Tamuning on Sunday. The launch happens at 2 in the afternoon, and we bring in a good friend of ours here on the show, Jerry Crisostomo, someone who has not been here on the link for a while. And Jerry, it has been too long. Buenas and half a day to you. Always good to see you.
Yeah, buenas, Jason.
Yep.
Happy Friday.
Yeah, happy Friday, and I guess happy early Sunday and happy launch for the Camacho-Ada headquarters. Jerry, these kind of things are never easy to do because obviously you want to present in a very responsible way in line with with the traditions and the pride of the party. But it's also it symbolizes a literal and metaphorical place where people can come and make pledges. They pledge their support. They pledge their monetary help. They pledge their commitment. They pledge sometimes sweat equity and everything. So how challenging is it to actually set up a proper campaign headquarters? And once all the paint's dried and like the banners are hung and the ribbons are cut and everything like that, what exactly does that symbolize for the party? And in this case, a former governor hoping to seek office again.
Sure. So we know that campaign season 2022 is well underway. We are just one of 3 options before the voters of Guam in this election. But since we've announced back in early March, we've spent the last 2 months preparing and building the campaign infrastructure that's needed for us, at least for the real battle, is in November. The primary, we're on the ballot, but we don't have a battle in the primary. So we've spent the last couple of months with our supporters and our volunteers to build a campaign infrastructure. And one of that important aspect of a campaign, of course, is the campaign headquarters. So this Sunday, we would like to invite the entire island community, our supporters, our friends of former Governor Felix Camacho and Senator Tony Yada, as well as the Republican Party. We will officially open our campaign headquarters on Sunday, April 24th at 2 o'clock. It is the Camacho-Ada Republican Party campaign headquarters. It is one headquarters for the entire party. It is an opportunity for us to mobilize our campaign out of this site. It is located at the Orlean Pacific Plaza in Tamuning, next to the Bank Pacific building in Tamuning. So it's away from Magana or away from Hagåtña. It's in Tamuning. We 4 years ago, the campaign of Ray Tenorio also opened their headquarters in Tamuning. So Tamuning seems to be, the epicenter of our economy, of our business. Most businesses are located in Tamuning. So we opted to open our headquarters there.
Now, Jerry, what are the essential components? And I mean, like, I've never done interior design or anything like that. But when you're actually designing the campaign headquarters, the structure of the building, obviously you want like a big outdoor area, like most people set up, like the big tents or the big tarps, and like a bunch of those 6-foot picnic tables and the benches, so that many supporters can gather. But even inside the building, like what rooms are essential, and how do you kind of like subdivide it so that you can get all the work properly done?
Sure. So with any campaign, you need the the room and the square footage to determine what your needs are. So there'll be a media room, a room where the candidates can be interviewed. For instance, there'll be an area where the village organizations, with our 19 villages, they'll each have a committee and organization where they can meet. We can basically have a room where we need to assemble campaign materials for canvassing, for the door-to-door visitations, for instance. There'll be, a calendar room where we would centralize all the activities, the events of the campaign. So supporters that come in will be able to see that. We will have voter registration table so that voters that need to be registered can come there and register to vote. So there are many different facets that are set up in the headquarters, and of course our outside facility for any big rallies or gatherings of throughout the campaign between now and November. So, and then every campaign has what we call the war room. So the war room is where we hash out the strategy of the campaign. We hash out the media components of the campaign. When we argue internally, that's where we maybe display our differences internally within the campain.
Wait, you mean politicians tend to disagree on things?
Sure,
I've never heard of this. When has this started?
Internally.
Internally, sure.
But once you leave the war room, we are one team.
Sure. One voice, one heartbeat.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, I appreciate, Jerry, how you were talking about, all the different components and, and how this is something that there's a tradition. And even for like new Republicans getting into the game or showing an interest in politics, and you're like, okay, well, this is how we do things. And, like a generations deep tradition, right? But you've also got, in addition to the physical structure into mooning, nowadays you've got to do, the different communications mediums that the kids are really into. So you've got to be on the internet, and you've got to set up the Instagram page and the Facebook page and the website and the donation site and everything. So how much hands-on do you have with that, or do you just leave it to the youngsters? Because this stuff will drive you crazy, trust me. That's why my hair's all gray, because I've been thinking about internet stuff for 25 years.
Sure. So as campaign chair, I oversee the entire campaign component, but we have individuals that are responsible for instance, the media strategy. And part of that, of course, is social media, as well as traditional media. So they'll be working out of that campaign headquarters. It's probably 4 or 5 different committees within that group. An important aspect of the media is also our data bank. As you know, all campaigns, it is about the numbers, and it is about data. So we are laser focused on data. We are working with the Republican National Committee, for instance, using a lot of their resources for our campaign. And so the data bank, our Republican data bank, is going to be really robust this year. We have we have 7 months from now until November. It's a very short period of time. Monies need to be raised, of course, to carry out the programs of the campaign. Volunteers need to be recruited, et cetera. And then, of course, the media strategy is unveiled, the platform is unveiled. So all of those components come into play based on timing.
Okay.
And so we have a game plan, and the game plan, we'll stick to the game plan based on the timing and the strategy.
So the two sides of the coin: 1, you formulate the strategy, and then 2, got to go out and execute.
Exactly.
Okay. So final question, Jerry, before I let you go, because I know much work, remains until, the grand launch on Sunday. I know if the boss is back there telling me I got to cover this and everything like that, man, that's my birthday. You guys are going to make me work on my birthday, but always always a treat to, cover awesome events, right? But seeing as how, the party that you're putting forward to reclaim Guadalupe, if you will, right, is a former governor and a sitting senator. Given their pedigree and their expertise, do they have final say at all, or what input do you take from them as far as the campaign headquarters and the design and the structure and everything? Or as campaign chair, do you say this is basically what we put together, and and you give them a big surprise reveal and say this is what we've got set up for you, this is the infrastructure, now let's get to work?
No, absolutely. The former governor, Governor Camacho and Senator Ada, have the final say over all aspects of the campaign decisions. So just as chair, I'm just one of those tentacles, right? The former governor and Senator Ada have the final say of any aspect, no matter how minor or major it is. It is their campaign. We are the soldiers that will support our leaders in the campaign. There
you go. Well, you're working really, really hard, Jerry, and we appreciate you giving us some of your time here on this Friday morning. And I know a lot of work remains and everything like that, so we're going to let you get back to work. And we know you never stop working, so it's good to see you as always.
Okay, appreciate it, Jason.
Okay, so that is 2 o'clock in the afternoon. The community is welcome, as Jerry just said, at the Orleans Pacific Plaza, adjacent to the Republican Party of Guam headquarters. See, so there's that adjacency, proximity thing. So, Jerry, have a wonderful day, my friend.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
All right. So that is the Camacho-Ada 2022 campaign headquarters launching on Sunday. Somebody in this room was born on that day. Somebody may have to work on that day. Somebody's going to have to go check in the back if he does have to work on that day. So tell you what, while